my name's Marian Sandberg and I'm an ACE 2024 studio artist, and through my practice I work across sculpture and installation, and I'm trying to figure out what it means to be human in this age of technology. So I've been making art since a really young age. From 3 I was sewing and drawing, and then I went through my first career as a software tester, really dissatisfied with these interactions that I was having with tech through screens. And so I decided to go to art school after that, and through art school I was able to really dig into what it was that I was interested in, not only as a human but as an artist. And so then I was able to start making machines to really dig into my practice. So it was through that dissatisfaction of looking at tech through screens that I decided that I wanted to do something different as an artist. So making real sort of tangible objects that could figure out my own place within and amongst these technical systems through things with sort of like a deeper, more physical materiality than you would normally see in screen-based things. As a human, I'm always looking at the world in terms of these different systems that we inhabit, why we inhabit them. And I'm really fascinated by the fact that we create these systems as humans and then we kind of take them as the norm. So, for instance, if you're walking up to a traffic light and you press the button, there's a whole lot of human decisions around that interaction that we just take for granted. But me as a human and as an artist, I want to know, what is it about that button? Why is it that we're interacting with this system in the way that we are? We can look at that in terms of so many things around us, like, social media, Instagram, the way that we inhabit digital worlds, physical worlds. And so as an artist, I really want to make my own systems that we can inhabit as sort of a grounds for contemplating these technological norms. So I work across sculpture and installation with a whole lot of old and new technologies, bringing them together. So for instance, really old tech like hand-cut dovetail joints or stitching, embroidery, really slow, repetitive forms of crafting. I bring that together right alongside new forms of crafting like programming or utilizing artificial intelligence that is just these layers and layers of tech and human decisions that are brought together in a black box that we all sort of don't really know how it works. But as an artist, I really love playing across those really sort of tangible and intangible realms of the physical and the digital and bringing them together. So I think in terms of how that sort of manifests in my practice, I'm really thinking about pulling apart these decisions to interact with tech in the way that we do, and what is it that I need in these systems to feel as though I'm still human. For me, it's really about breaking it down and slowly, hand stitching a wire to a piece of canvas. That in itself is a programming decision to me. It's something that I like to call programming in the expanded field. So taking this repetitive crafting and running it again and again and again, and then the decision to exit out of that is really me asserting my humanity and deciding how I want to exist within this system that I'm creating, as opposed to having it handed down to me from someone else. So an artist I really admire is Stelarc, and not so much in terms of what he makes, but why he makes. He's really interested in the point between the human and the non-human, and that's where my work exists as well. He believes that the body is obsolete, whereas I really want to inhabit my body and feel what it is to be human amongst these systems. I feel kind of like kindred spirits in terms of why we're doing what we're doing, even if our work does look somewhat dissimilar. But materially, we both work with pneumatics. He was actually the artist that encouraged me to work with pneumatics in the first place. He said, "Oh, look, Marian, you can do it. It's easy." Turns out it's not that easy. What I would really love people to get out of my work is this sense of being in control of how you interface with your own tech. So, for instance, the work that I've made at ACE this year, it's a very personal bodily work, so I'm not necessarily expecting the viewer to relate to it on that level. However, I'd really love for people to be able to step back and see, why has someone made this thing? To think that we're really in control of crafting our own path through this world is really what I would love people to take away from my work. This year at ACE has been phenomenal for many reasons. Coming to work every day and being in this experimental mindset, thinking about what does experimentation mean to me? It's going to be something completely different to the other studio artists here, but for me, it's been experimenting in scale and just being okay with failure, really, and asking what is failure? So for me, the system that I've made this year, it's air-powered in a way that I can't predict the way that my work is kinetically going to operate. And just being okay with that, or more than okay, really embracing the unpredictability, which I think has really been phenomenal in terms of being at ACE. This year for the ACE Studios 2024 exhibition, I've been working on a large-scale kinetic sculpture, and it actuates through compressed air. It's got this beautiful shifting planar aspect to it that responds to bodily movement in the gallery. And so the basis for this sculpture was a 3D scan of my uterus that was removed through hysterectomy last year. And so I'm really looking at my relationship with my body as a result of the technology that's available at the time. So prior to 3D scanning being available in my phone, there's no way I would have been able to have this experience of what this organ looked like, how it functioned, how it sat. And so I'm fascinated by the fact that I could digitally extract something from my body at the same time as it was physically extracted. And so this year I've just been working to sort of reclaim and materialize that object for the Studio's 2024 show.